Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and yes, we're going to talk about this again, but something rather specific about it because reading through it kind of worried me, I'm not going to lie, as yeah, it does seem kind of believable given Creative Assembly's track record, and that specifically is the whole situation regarding Warhammer 3 having around 1.5 years worth of support. This is not good if it's true. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because I know Creative Assembly listen to these videos, and I'm going to, throw a Hail Mary out there. I know you guys are going to do that too with comments and so on. Yeah. This series is not done. Obviously that Hail Mary is only just in case this ends up being true, because there's been a lot of leaks out there, and some of them are believable and some of them aren't. But yeah, Warhammer 3, by all definitions, is still not done. I'm not talking in regards to Cafe Koresh and so on, as I would really love to see them, but I really don't think that that's on the cards right now. But other stuff like DLCs for certain races and factions, if it's the case that we only get 1.5 years worth of content, it's not going to finish out what we want. Some people would say, yes, this game is complete, but no, it's not, and it's been delayed heavily. Not only was this game delayed from what we know of, right? It's what, 6 months or so was it originally before it launched? But then when it launched to such an atrocious state, that meant that DLC wasn't coming out for good reason, obviously, but that was a delay in production for everything else. And then when the shit show of Shadows of Change happened, well, that was another delay because it had to wait until April to get Thrones of Decay. When these things happen, the stuff that was already likely approved by Games Workshop to be done as DLCs won't get the time to actually be made. There are many characters in this franchise that people still want, and it's ridiculous that, yeah, again, it might end before it's actually done. Now, keep in mind that this rumor could in fact be false, but, we've heard a bunch of rumors from more reputable sources like Legend of Total War, and I think that these sources do kind of line up, which is worrying to me. Don't get me wrong, I am one of those people who like 40k also, so I think that when we eventually move on to that, awesome, right? That's going to be great. But it's very strange to understand why CA don't tend to run two flagships together. It's super, super weird. Especially when we've been hearing rumors that CA Sophia are going to be put onto Warhammer 3 for the next DLC. They're a competent enough team as they stand. A lot of DLCs for Troy were fantastic, new mechanics which ended up being ported into Warhammer as it stands, so why not let them cook, right? I'm fairly certain a lot of them know about Warhammer, and it's not like CA have complete control out of this franchise anyway. It's mostly Games Workshop saying yes and no. Shout out to the repeaters. Now the conversation could be had that it's likely going to end due to engine limitations, which can be believed, to be honest. I mean, yeah, it struggles. We can see that. However, when that is also a conversation, I want to bring up the fact that CA Sophia have figured out how to move the map from 0-0. This is something that you guys should be talking about more, by the way, because, yeah, that's pretty big news. Maybe they can figure out something here too. There's clearly a lot of talented staff at CA Sophia, and they're not being utilized as much as they should be. Clearly this engine is still workable, and again, I'm not saying, yeah, work on the future titles on the Warscape engine, but rather, if you still have money generating from Warhammer 3 in the form of DLCs, then keep milking the bastard for all it's worth. I mean, let's just look at the race selection screen here. Obviously, there's stuff missing like Int, Koresh, that's stuff that people really do want, and I feel like it's something that might have slipped our grasp. It might have been there originally, but then constant letdowns and so on make it seem like it's not going to happen. Modders might do it though, because keep in mind there's a lot of modders working on amazing stuff, but I wouldn't hold my breath, which sucks, because a few days ago I was feeling fairly confident, but 1.5 years time is not enough to get 3-4 race packs out. However, what I see here is a bunch of races that desperately need some help. Some DLC too would be lovely. Nolska, is the joke of the Warhammer world right now. Then you've got the Lizardmen, the Vampire Counts. Hell, I wouldn't say no to some lovely updates towards the High Elves and the Dark Elves to bring them more in line with Warhammer 3. But if you've seen my speculation for the possible roadmap for 2024/2025, yeah, that's kind of what I'm expecting coming out, and I very much doubt that we're going to see a lot more. if the rumors are true. Again, I have to keep stressing this just in case. Now, the argument that I could see for this is Warhammer 40k. We're going to get eventually a Total War 40k, and Creative Assembly don't want tensions between two cash cows for some reason. And this is actually something which is pretty interesting, because first up, we've had multiple live games before. At some point we had Total War Warhammer 2, Total War Three Kingdoms, and Troy at the same time. It was back-to-back DLCs, which was fantastic. As a content creator, someone who likes playing Total War 2, it was just nice to have something constantly. It's not like other companies don't do this too. Paradox do it often. Games Workshop do this. I have heard some people say, no, it's likely because Games Workshop don't want fantasy and 40k running at the same time. But this is why Games Workshop do back-to-back releases. If you follow them on the tabletop, it's always consistent back-to-back releases of multiple franchises. Creative Assembly had the possible chance with Warhammer 3 and 40k to basically milk as much money as they could actually want, because Warhammer fans will buy constantly. This is why, for example, some people have multiple armies in different settings. Some people even have 7 boxes of Intercessors that they bought during the release of 9th edition and they haven't done anything with. Good God, I really should paint them up at some point. To be fair, I'm more focused on Old World now, but yeah, I do want to sort out these 40k things, because I do want to do 40k battle reports when Emperor's Children do come out. The main thing is Warhammer fans mostly care about Warhammer. You could bring in a shiny new thing like, say for example, Star Wars Total War, which we'll talk about in a future video. I'm compiling all the rumors and leaks into one thing to see how realistic this could be and to kind of talk about things properly. The moment that you start showing stuff like Warhammer, yeah, people will go back to it. People will instantly and obviously keep going back to that. Now, yes, this rumor could end up being totally untrue and just false, but Creative Assembly have done these types of mistakes in the past, so it's entirely possible that this mistake can be done again. I mean, Three Kingdoms starting off with 8 princes is a perfect example here, you know? So I do feel like it's fairly important to echo any fears just in case they might be true. From a personal point of view, if they decide to kill off Warhammer 3 too early without finishing up the races, you know, if the Khorne DLC doesn't happen, the Sinesh DLC, or whatever, I'm not going to trust them as much when it comes to 40k, because it will just prove that when they start causing issues, because all the issues that happen with Warhammer 3 are their own doing alone, well, yeah, I'm not going to trust them for 40k. I'm not going to trust them for Med 3, Empire 2, World War 1, Total War Equestria, Total War Hyenas, whatever. An abandoned title is still an abandoned title, and if it's happened once, which it has, then it can happen again and again and again. And that's something that Creative Assembly, I really hope, if you're listening, I'm genuinely hoping that you're working to make sure that doesn't happen again. There's a lot of love for this franchise, and it doesn't make sense to just kill off games when they're not really complete anymore. But yeah, hopefully this is wrong. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm just a little bit worried. I think I've been in a constant state of fear since around 2022, so yeah, not fun. But yeah, here's hoping for the best. And yeah, if you're new here, might you consider subscribing. I post every single day regarding Total War news, Warhammer the Old World, loads of different things. It doesn't cost you a thing, it's totally free. It just helps the channel get a little bit noticed from the YouTube algorithm. We're trying to get up to 100,000 subscribers this year, which would be kind of cool. We're getting there. It's going to be cool, man. There's only 4k more to go. But yeah, have a great day, guys, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.